Hey, how's it going? It is Saturday afternoon. Right, I've been out in the rain, walked the dog, and I'm now ready to make a start on doing a bit more to this junction. So I've got everything's all in place, all the tracks linked up, I've ran trains over it, it all works, it seems to work alright. So what I'm going to do is start marking where the points are. So I've got this little hand drill, actually ordered it yesterday, came today via Amazon. So I'm going to start marking where to sort of drill the holes for the point motors. Then I will remove it or lift it up out of the way and then drill them with a proper drill. I kind of cocked some points up before because I drilled from underneath and went too far and drilled right into the point mechanism. So luckily that was one of the older Hornby ones, which I'm not using now. So I'll make a start on this and then we'll see how far we get today. Right, so the way I'm doing it, I'm positioning the point so it's not on either side, but it sits sort of in the middle, because that's where I want the hole. Pushing through and just giving a few turns with this, just so it marks a nice hole. That should be sufficient. So carry on. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of these to do. So let's carry on. So I've now gone along, I've removed the cork from underneath, and where I marked the holes in the points with the little hand drill, I've now gone along and I've drilled I think it's a 5.5mm hole. I've then used a countersink bit on the top and the bottom to tidy it up. Some of the other holes you can see along here like this is where there was a bracing piece underneath. There was actually many bracing pieces underneath. For the purposes of fitting this entire junction, I removed everything from underneath the baseboard, apart from 2 bracing pieces on either edge, basically so that I've got nothing in the way when I go to fit the point motors and anything like that. Once I know where everything's going to be, then I'll put the bracing pieces back in, albeit maybe in a slightly different position, just so it's just as strong, but it's just going to make installing all of this much easier. Right, so now I'm going to get the underlay, the cork underlay, back underneath the track, get the track back in position, and make some holes in the cork. Right, okay, so I've cracked on and I have drilled all the holes, so there's a hole under each of the point positions. It's all lined up pretty good, which I'm surprised at. So I've put the cork back under and I've cut out the gaps basically. I've then put just a splodge of copy decks underneath it. I'm kind of learning as I'm going, because when I've used copy decks on other bits of cork that I've then had to lift up, I found although it comes up alright, the more you've got on there it's an absolute pain, and the ballast is going to hold it down anyway when that's all glued down. So I've just put a little splodge here and there. As you can see, it's splurged out here on the sides in places, just to sort of hold it down. I've put some pins in so it's pinned down in places. So next step is to have a go at fitting some point motors on these. Now, one thing I haven't done is remove the springs from these. So I'm going to see what it's like with the spring in place, and if need be I'll cut through it. Alright, started doing point motors. One of them I've kind of cocked up a little bit, so I won't show you that one, but I've got this one done. It's not wired in, but it is there. So these are the Megapoints servo ones, and I mentioned earlier about leaving the spring clips in, and so the servo needs very minimal movement and the springs kind of do the rest. They might wear over time, but I think for now I'll leave them in. Alright, so we're underneath the baseboard. This might look a little bit weird because the camera's sort of upside down and I'm laying on the floor. So this is one of the point motors installed. So you can hear the click there. That is it changing. So it's very minimal movement that it actually needs. Obviously it's not wired up yet, so we will get that done. But I don't really think I showed you much of this when I installed the previous point motors, so I thought I'd get under here and show you what it's like. But yeah, fairly basic. If you want a better demonstration of how to install these, it's probably best to have a look at the Megapoints YouTube channel, and there's a pretty good video on there, shows you how to do it. So if I just zoom back a little bit so you can see there's absolutely no bracing under here, so it's nice and plain for me to install the motors, and then I'll put some more bracing on afterwards. So as I've been doing this, I've been periodically running the trains over it just to make sure everything's still alright. So here's the GWR class 43 with a full rake. And we'll go back the other way, nice and slow. All seems okay, so we'll go on to that one. So I'm quite pleased with that. So now I've just got the tedious job of doing the rest of the point motors. So 1 down and 13 to go. And then we'll get on with the ballasting, I guess. Another tedious job, but that's it for now. I know it's not much of an update compared to last week, but it's it is actually quite a big bit of progress on the track. So yeah, if you would like to subscribe, click the top link. If you want to see the previous video, go ahead and click the bottom link. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.